Hello again and welcome to another Morty and Glory Old World video. In today's episode, I want to take you through my 1250 point Empire list that I will be taking to my first ever Old World tournament. And what's kind of crazy is it will be my first ever fantasy tournament of any kind. I used to play fantasy back in the day when I was a kid, and even when I got back into it towards the end of 8th edition fantasy, but I never had the opportunity to enter any form of league or tournament or anything like that. So I am super excited to summon the elect accounts and show off what the Empire can do on the competitive tabletops. And so without further ado, let's march forward and charge right into today's episode. Let's begin with a step-by-step overview of the list, and then later on we'll get into the tactics and strategies. Over on the left, we have a block of 24 state troops. These are equipped with light armor and halberds, and they've got full command, but there's no shields in here. This unit is designed to give me a solid block of fighting troops, something with a little bit of extra strength and AP, where I might actually be able to get some kills with them. If I go up against any kind of light infantry, I should have the strength advantage. For example, I'm taking on like goblins with spears. And if I go up against something that's a bit bigger than me, like orcs or chaos warriors, hopefully with the extra strength, with me winning on 4s, and the AP, plus the fact that halberds are armor bane, I might actually be able to chop through some of those well-armored foes. We've also got another unit of state troops, and this time it's 22 strong, but there's a couple of characters in there, so it's another brick of 24 infantry. I quite like my infantry in 24 bricks for Empire. I find it's a nice balance between points cost and having the numbers to give you that durability. Now, this unit of state troops is designed to be much more defensive, to take a charge and be able to absorb it and then punch back. We've got all of the state troops themselves equipped with spears and shields. The spears will let me fight in extra ranks and will give me a cheeky initiative bonus as well. Often that won't help, but against some particularly slow enemies, and if I'm able to get some initiative bonuses elsewhere, such as from magic, I should be able to actually fight on equal terms or even at the same time as some enemies. Also, I can use my shields. And shields gives me a 5+ armor save when combined with my light armor. There isn't a huge difference between just light armor and shields. In fact, a lot of people will just cut past it. When you start getting into those grinds or those follow-up fights when people, you give ground and then they follow up into you, but they don't count as charging. So rather than like them getting the extra damage on like the lancers and stuff, they're actually just hitting you essentially with hand weapons. You can actually grind it out, and that 5-up save can come in handy. And the point of this unit is to have extra ranks so it can and extra defensiveness so it can just grind through. And this unit has successfully done this in battle, so it's not just a theory, we've actually tested this. Of course, this unit has got full command as well. We need as much static combat res as we can get our hands on. And then we've got a couple of characters in here. First character is essential for any Empire army. It is the Captain Battle Standard Bearer. Now, I've tried to make this guy not too expensive because really his job is just there to flap the flag around and give everyone a nice re-roll to like leadership and break tests and that kind of stuff. But I have wanted to make him so he doesn't just get sniped out of the unit straight away. So it's a captain who I've given full plate armor to and the enchanted shield. So he's going to have a 3-up save plus a cheeky 6-up ward save as well. I went for the enchanted shield because I had a few points left over. I normally go for the talisman of protection, but I found on a 2-wound character that he often just dies anyway. So I put a little ward save on there, but really it's just like I had a few points left over, so I might as well have a better shield than just a basic shield. We've then got the General of the Empire, another essential character because you want to use his Leadership 9 aura. Now, with him being the General of the Empire and being my Army General, he actually has a 12-inch Leadership aura, and so Command aura, I should say. So Leadership 9 rerollable for nearly the whole army is going to be very spicy. Now, I've equipped this guy to chuck out lots of attacks. I've tried a couple of different builds when it comes to Empire Generals, I've tried the one where you go for like the Sword of Battle, which is 1 extra attack, 1 extra strength. That's fine, but I've settled on this loadout, which is the Duelist Blades. And so this general's got the Duelist Blade and he's got the White Cloak. The White Cloak gives him a 5% vulnerable save, and the fact that he's got a few extra wounds and you just don't want him to die because he's your general means that he actually can take advantage of having that 5 invuln. And the Duelist Blades means that he actually has 5 attacks from this character, which is quite difficult. It's difficult to get that many attacks from your Empire characters. Often they're just sort of stuck with 2 or 3, so him having 5 means he can actually put out the volume and just throw enough dice at the wall with a cheeky bit of AP and actually cut a few enemies down. His job is to add an extra kill or 2 single-handedly to the combat res, hopefully tipping it with all, with extra with the banner and the warp and the BSB and the extra ranks, and the close order, hopefully allowing us to not just take a fight but also win a fight here and there. He's also got full plate armor, and I should say that he has a brace of pistols, and the Empire captain also has a pistol, because again, I had a few points left over, and these guys are surprisingly good at shooting. The Empire general does have ballistic skill 5, and the Empire captain has ballistic skill 4, so I can actually stand and shoot with this unit and get a couple of kills from it, hopefully, again, helping us actually win a fight. Now I have another unit of state troops here, but we're going to come back to those in just a moment, because I want to have a look at some of the support elements first. Number 1, we have a cannon. You can't go wrong with a cheeky cannon. It's a fantastic take-all-comers artillery piece. You can shoot it into big monsters and do lots of damage to them, and you can also use it to go after infantry at range with bouncing through multiple ranks, and when the enemy gets close you can unleash the grape shot onto them, and I love using grape shot with cannons. It's very, very potent and does a lot of damage. So the cannon is just there to give me some actual range support, because at the end of the day this is Empire, and we need guns to try and soften the enemy up before the Clash of Steel happens. Speaking of the Clash of Steel, we got the stank. We got the steam tank, boys. Now I have to admit that taking steam tank at 1250 points does seem very cheesy. I'm not going to deny that. But remember, I am going to a tournament. So this is going to be a competitive environment, not a casual environment. If I was playing against friends at 1250 points, I probably wouldn't bring this thing, because it's so damn powerful. It's probably one of the best units that Empire has right now. It's extremely durable. It answers a lot of the problems that traditional Empire lists have, where it's like, how do I deal with that big, horrible, like Death Star infantry that's going to cream all of my state troops? Oh, I'll just yeet a steam tank into it. It'll just sit there and lock them down for pretty much the entire game, and might even break them because it's very durable, it does a good amount of attacks, it's got great impact hits, and also it causes terror and it's unbreakable. It's also got great firepower, and having a unit that can do 2 things at a small points level like this is really important, because normally when I go 1250 points I take 2 separate cannons, but I've got 2 cannons here. This basically encompasses a cannon fire support unit and also like a melee death unit, so it's doing 2 jobs and it's doing them really well. Next we have another character, and this is my Empire Wizard. She is going to be a level 2 with the Law of Elementalism, and that's going to be it. Nothing fancy, not even a lore familiar. We're going to trust to the winds of magic for her spells. The idea behind this character is to give me a bit of magic defense. I expect that when I come across enemy wizards, they're either going to be level 2 and they'll be able to sort of match me in the arts, or they might be level 4 and I might get outclassed. But having some cheeky dispels here and there might make the difference. And also, you have to be in range to be able to dispel. So if she's out on a flank, she might be able to avoid some of the wizards that might outclass her. I have to admit, though, I'm not totally convinced. I do feel like maybe it's better off going level 4 or not at all. I've put a level 2 in to see how it does. I'm hoping that at the very least she'll be able to hold her ground. If it becomes obvious that it's level 4 or bust, then this is one of the units that will probably stay out at 1250 points, or I'll have to rearrange some points to get to level 4, or I'll just save it until I get to 2000 points and use a level 4 there. But now let's head back over to these bozos. Now you'll notice that I've got a unit of state troops here, but I've also got a cannon behind. And that's because I'm not sure which one of these two I want to take in my 1250 point army. Traditionally, I would always take 2 cannons, but I kind of have 2 cannons because I've got my steam tank. And what I found with Old World is you can take all the guns you want, but at the end of the day, this game is resolved in combat, whether you like it or not. There are some factions out there which are going to shake their head at that, like Wood Elves will love to just gun me down, or should I say bow me down at range. But a lot of the time, you're going to find that it's going to get up close and personal. And whenever I've run 1250 point armies before, I've taken just a couple of unit state troops, and then I've had to rely upon things like missile troops and stuff. And I have to say, it has been really tricky, and it has been a real uphill battle. And so my idea for this tournament is to not just keep trying the same thing over and over again. Oh, I'll take some more archers, or I'll take some handgunners, and be like, look, I've got some artillery. I've got the artillery covered. That's it. I'm going to take a 3rd unit of state troops now, and even though state troops are kind of expensive, and a lot of people don't like them, and I'm not even disagreeing with them on that front, it's more close combat, and that's where this game is going to be won or lost. So I'm going to get these guys painted up, hopefully in time for the tournament. There isn't any painting restrictions on the tournament, but I like to have a nice army. However, if I don't get them painted to the standard that I like, I will be subbing that cannon in. And the cool thing about the cannon, if I take that, it will allow me to get a lore familiar for the wizard. But let me know what you would do. Would you go for the extra cannon and try and just hold the line and pray that your missile weapons will be able to do enough damage so that your state troops can do what they need to do? Or would you say, you know what, cannon fire isn't going to resolve this, and go for the melee troops? Out of these two, where would you land? Now that just about covers the whole army, but what are some of the tactics and strategic thoughts that are going through my singular brain cell with this army? Firstly, the general idea is to hold the line and let the cannon from the steam tank and the great cannon do some work. Take a rank out here, take out some of the bigger monsters, and soften the enemy up so that then the state troops will have a chance in melee. Another big thing with this army is I've got quite the abundance of troops. I want to have lots and lots of numbers. Sometimes at 1250 points it can be easy to get suckered into like the big characters, and I know when I was building my dwarf army I only had like 30 or 40 infantry and then like a big old dwarf on shield bearers. But with this army I was thinking, you know what, let's just get a lot of stuff on the table. Let's go for a bit of a horde. You know, maybe we'll even outnumber some orc and goblin players. So having lots of just core troops to try and grind those battles out, hold the line, and also these units, they have a lot of points in them, but not so much that if I lose like a full unit, it's like, oh damn, like I'm completely done. I think 3 separate units of 24 will give me some durability, but also it's not a complete flop if I took this as like one giant unit of state troops, or if I combine these halberdiers into one giant state troops. It's not going to be the case of one bad leadership test and the game is over because I've lost 400 points in one go. Another big thing with these state troops is I found in some of my other 1250 point games, and even like a 2000 point game, when I was relying upon just 1 or 2 units of state troops, that I was having a real problem with cavalry. Now you'll notice I don't really have any cavalry in this list, and that's because I haven't got them printed out and painted up yet. And the big problem I was having is I would have like 2 big unit state troops and I was taking some small detachments, but the issue I was having is detachments would just get charged and taken out, and the big blocks would just sort of be left isolated. By having these 3 big unit state troops, I can create an extended line that can cover the flanks, and so getting hit by like a unit of 5 wolf riders, getting hit by like a unit of 5 medium cavalry isn't the end of the world. I can just absorb, even if they do get me in the flanks, I can generally absorb those charges and drive them off. So the units are fairly good at looking after themselves whilst also protecting each other. Also, with this being the first tournament for Old World in my area, and there being no painting requirements or anything like that, I am expecting there to be a lot of starter armies such as Bretonnians and maybe even some Tomb Kings. Tonians could be a little bit of an issue because obviously they're going to get the charge on me, but I'm hoping that with the size of units that I've got, if they like charge and Knightlands into the front of a unit of Halberdiers, you know, Knights have like 6 attacks in the Knightlands formation with the champion. They'll hit with some, they'll wound with some, they'll probably kill like 4 or 5 guys. That will still give me the chance to strike back with plenty of attacks, and I might, with my extra strength and my extra AP, be able to actually kill a couple of the knights. So I'm hoping that these units will be able to grind down those probably multiple 6 strong knight lances. But if I do come across something particularly gnarly, such as a Tomb King Bone Dragon, that's where I've got the cannon and that's where I've got the steam tank. I'm expecting to be holding the line a lot of the time, but if I do come across some big, gribbly, horrible monster, or just not Bretonnians, just not Tomb Kings. Let's say I come across someone who's got a big unit of like Chaos Warriors or something, then I need a unit that can just stop that. Can just go, no. I cast no. And that is going to be the steam tank. So the general idea is I've got lots of core troops because I'm expecting to face off against a lot of other core troops. And if I do come across something that my state troops can't handle, which is, to be fair, there's probably a lot that state troops can't handle, I've got a lot of hopes pinning on the steam tank. It is definitely a bit of a linchpin of the army, a bit of an Achilles heel, but hopefully there's going to be a lot of people that won't be able to deal with a goddamn tank at 1250 points. But there is one more reason why I am leaning heavily into things like state troops. And that's because they're cool. There's a lot of chit and chat right now on the internet about how Empire isn't very good and how state troops in particular are pretty trash. And it is hard to argue with that because when you look at a state troop and you compare it to like a men-at-arms, it makes you think, damn, I'm paying almost twice for basically the same guy. That's rough. But this is the Empire, and state troops are the Empire. They're just so damn cool. And so I really hope that I can take this army to the event. And hey, maybe I lose every single game. Maybe everyone online is right, and Empire state troops are complete trash, complete waste of time, and I need to start printing out as many knights and demogryphs as I can get my hands on. Very, very well may be the case. But for me, the Empire will always be state troops, and it'll always be big blocks of infantry holding the line against the cosmic horrors of the old world. And so I hope that this army will be able to, even if it doesn't win any games, it'll look damn good losing, and it might even make the enemy, give the enemy a bit of a nosebleed on the way down. But of course, all of that is just like my opinion, man. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. What do you think of this Empire army overall? Do you think it's fluffy and fun, or do you think it's a bit cheesy with that steam tank? And what units would you take in your army, whether it's Empire or another faction, at 1250 points if you were going to a tournament? Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe to never miss an episode. Would you like to know more? If so, then please consider becoming a channel member or patron. By supporting the channel, not only will you be doing your part, but you'll also be helping me create more content for your viewing pleasure and unlocking a whole host of perks. You get everything from a badge next to your name, custom emojis, but the big one is access to the Mordian Glory Discord server, an online community with almost 2,500 active members. It's always popping off in the MG Discord. We've got channels for army lists, hobbying, tactics, stories, and even a pretty spicy meme section as well. For all you greenhorns that wanted to see the Mordian Glory Hole, today is your lucky day. And joking aside, I do want to say a massive thank you to all of the current channel members and patrons. You guys are amazing. Truly the lifeblood of the channel. I could not do Mordian Glory full-time without the incredible and generous support of my members. So thank you guys so much. And last but certainly not least, I want to say a personal thank you to all of my top tier Patreons. These are the War Masters, the people who have truly gone above and beyond the call of duty. So a heartfelt thank you to Alex Dengal, Bon Vert, Mad Larkin, Marcus Roberts, Mark Panconi, RJ Scorpion, Swordfish Trombone, Try Again Bragg, John Stubbs, Nick Walsh, Diesel Fox, and August Barney. Seriously guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support is incredible and it makes a huge difference. Thank you so much. That's all for now. Hope you've all enjoyed today's video, and of course, as always, see you guys next time.